Okay, so we have these fascinating texts in front of us. A letter, um, kind of song or psalm, and a piece from the Gospels.
Yeah, three quite different styles,
Hmm.
but they all seem to wrestle with, fundamental beliefs and how you actually talk about them.
Right. How do you get these core ideas across? Let's maybe dig into what makes each one tick.
Sounds good. Where should we start? Corinthians.
Yeah, let's do that. 1 Corinthians 15. What hits me straight away is how personal and direct it sounds. I want to make quite clear to you, brothers.
Exactly. It's not abstract theorizing. It feels like he's saying, listen up, this is important. He's laying out what he presents as, well, key historical events.
The core message seems to be Christ died for our sins, he was buried, and then he was resurrected. And crucially, in accordance with the scriptures.
Those are presented as the non-negotiables, the absolute foundation. It's like, this is the tradition received and passed on.
And then comes that list. It's
Yeah.
quite something. All the eyewitnesses.
It's almost like building a case, isn't it?
Yeah.
He lists Cephas, that's Peter,
Yeah.
then the 12 apostles.
Then more than 500 people at once.
Yeah, and he adds that little detail, most of whom are still alive. It's like an invitation almost to check the story.
Yeah.
In that context, eyewitness accounts were, well, vital.
After the 500, there's James, and then all the apostles again, and finally the writer includes himself.
Right. Last of all, as he puts it. And that phrase you mentioned earlier about the tradition he handed on, which he'd received, it really underscores this idea of a chain of transmission, passing the baton of core beliefs.
Okay, so that's very focused on specific events and testimony. But then we jump to Psalms 19, and it's completely different.
Totally different angle. Here, the communication isn't through words or specific historical claims, initially at least.
It's about creation itself speaking, day discourses of it today. But then it says, no utterance at all, no speech, not a sound to be heard.
Yeah, it's paradoxical, isn't it? A silent speech. The idea is that the very structure and beauty of the universe from the entire earth the design stands out, communicates something profound about, well, the divine.
The imagery is powerful too. The sun, like a bridegroom or a champion running its course. It conveys majesty, power.
And predictability, order. It's suggesting a universal message embedded in the cosmos itself, accessible to everyone, everywhere, regardless of language, a sort of natural revelation, you could say.
So you have this specific historical testimony in Corinthians, and then this universal silent witness in the Psalms. Two kinds of evidence, perhaps.
You could see it that way. One rooted in history and personal experience, the other in observing the natural world. And they're presented as complementary, maybe.
Interesting. Now, let's bring in the third text from John's Gospel, chapter 14. This one feels very direct again, but in a different way.
Extremely direct. These are the I am statements from Jesus himself. I am the way. I am truth and life.
And that very strong claim, no one can come to the Father except through me. That's quite absolute.
It is. It posits an exclusive path. And the connection between Jesus and the Father is emphasized repeatedly. Things like, anyone who has seen me has seen the Father.
Right. And I am in the Father, and the Father is in me. It speaks to this deep intrinsic unity.
It does. But it's not just about understanding this unity intellectually, is it? It connects directly to doing things.
You mean the part about believers doing the same works, or even greater works?
Exactly. There's this implication that genuine belief translates into tangible action, empowered by that connection.
And then there's the focus on prayer, asking in my name.
Yes, and the promise tied to it. If you ask me anything in my name, I will do it. The stated purpose being so that the Father may be glorified in the Son. That promise is even repeated.
So putting it all together, we've got the personal testimony and transmission of events from Corinthians.
Then the constant unspoken message from the natural world in Psalms.
And these very direct, profound, personal claims about identity, truth, and access to God in John. How do these fit together? They seem like quite different ways of communicating.
That's really the core question, isn't it? You have historical accounts, observations of nature, and direct divine pronouncements all converging, arguably, on related fundamental truths. They are distinct methods, different kinds of evidence perhaps, but they all contribute to how these core beliefs were formed and shared.
It makes you think about the nature of belief itself and the kind of evidence people look for or respond to.
It does. Different approaches resonate differently with people, I suppose. The historical, the experiential, the logical, the revelatory.
So, considering these different ways these texts present foundational ideas, the eyewitness accounts, the universe as silent witness, the direct I am claims what kind of communication about fundamental truths tends to resonate most strongly with you. How do you find things like personal experience, observation, and direct claims interacting when you think about what you hold to be true?